Well, welcome back to 13 News at 4:30. We have an update now on a story we've been following for several years in Boone County. An investigation by our partners at the Indiana Capital Chronicle, along with the Arnolt Center for Investigative Journalism, found the Leap District in Lebanon is among the costliest economic development projects our state has ever tried.
From land purchases to water and more, reporters tallied up $985 million in spending. And it's to boost our competitiveness for big companies and jobs to come here. And so we're talking about manufacturers, research, and corporate headquarters. Now, the Leap District was inspired by North Carolina's Triangle Innovation Park. But the way Indiana's Economic Development Corporation is structured, it allows the state to withhold details from the public. And that alone in itself has created some controversy. So
joining us to talk about this story is reporter Leslie Bonilla-Muniz from the Capital Chronicle. Thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for
Leslie,
having me.
You and the others from the Arnolt Center all work together on this.
And you actually spent 6 months on this investigation. We already know Lily has broken ground. What are the critics saying about this?
So I think, the two main things that we heard in talking to lawmakers as well as residents was first, just the cost, the sheer amount of dollars the state has spent on this. And I think the question there is, are we going to recoup the taxpayer dollars that we've invested into this project? And then I think that the other main concern was about transparency. There was, among lawmakers, disagreement about how effective oversight entities like the State Budget Committee have been, and just different levels of access based on who you are. Are you a member of the supermajority or the superminority? Are you part of the caucus's leadership, or are you rank and file member? And then I think, talking to everyday residents, there was very little sense of how much had been spent and just very little access to that kind of information.
You quoted in your story Representative Ed Delaney saying, "We know what the schools are doing, we know what the National Guard is doing, we know what the Department of Transportation is doing, but we don't know what IEDC is doing." What does the IDEC say about this? What did they tell you?
Yeah, so a spokesperson for the agency told us that while they're limited in some things that they can disclose, that they are committed to being transparent about everything they can be and being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. She also noted that everything that they've spent has been appropriated by the General Assembly and approved by the State Budget Committee.
And is there any indication that this investment could be starting to pay off?
I think it's a little early to tell just because construction is still ongoing. Nothing has opened up for operations. And so I think that's something that we're going to have to wait and see on.
Okay. All right. Well, you can check out that story for yourself if you'd like at the Indiana Capital Chronicle. We'll put a link to it on our website at WTHR.com. Leslie, as always, thanks very much.
Thanks so much for having me.